inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تبارك وتعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. نسأل الله العزيز الغفار أن يجيرنا وإياكم من عذاب النار. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thank Him for His generosity. The month of Ramadan is one of the big signs of generosity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact that He sends us this particular month in which we can get closer to Him, in which we can get our sins expiated, in which we can get our records of hasanat bigger and more sizable, inshallah ta'ala, is a month that we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness and ask Him to accept our good deeds. Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يخلق ما يشاء ويختار. Allah Azza wa Jal creates that which He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He chooses. So obviously from His creation, He chooses the creation over another. He chose Jibreel alayhi salam, made him the best of al-malaika. He created the earth and made Mecca, and especially the Kaaba area, the best spot on the planet. He created and sent the prophets and messengers, 124,000, and from them He chose 314 messengers, and from them He chose the 5 best, and from them He chose the 2 best, Ibrahim and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And He chose Muhammad to be the best of all messengers, and He honored you and I, everyone here, and every Muslim by making us from the followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is what is a tremendous honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah ta'ala has chosen the months, and He has made Ramadan to be one of the best months that He subhanahu wa ta'ala, like I said, gave as a gift to the believers of this ummah. And as you know, Allah Azza wa Jalla created us for a reason. What is the reason for our creation? I want to ask one of the young ones in the back or on the right. What is the reason for our creation? Exactly. We were created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We were not created so we can enjoy and play and amass wealth and things like that. All those things come as an accessory to the main reason for our creation, which is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not take any partners with Him. And Allah Azza wa Jal has many wisdoms when it comes to that. Allah Azza wa Jal made it so that a person will enter Islam saying بكلمة يدخل المرء في الإسلام بكلمة الكلمة الطيبة أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. This statement, subhanallah, it is heavier in the scale than the heavens and the earth, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed who? Who did Allah inform about this? Hisham? Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam said, Ya Allah, give me something that I would mention you with. أذكرك به. علمني شيئا أو علمني كلاما أذكرك به. قال يا موسى قل لا إله إلا الله. He said, Ya Musa, say la ilaha illallah. He said, Musa alayhi salam said, Ya Allah, my Lord, all of your servants say that. He said, Ya Musa, if the seven heavens and the dwellers, all their dwellers except for me, myself, and the 7 earths and their dwellers were to put on one side of the scale, and La ilaha illallah on the other side of the scale, it will outweigh them by far. It will outweigh them by far. So this kalima, subhanallah, it saves the person from being from the dwellers of the hellfire, and it brings them and gives them a chance by being a believer. And then, subhanallah, we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after saying that statement by showing humility and showing humbleness and showing reverence to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing what? Ruku' and sujood in the salah, which is the second pillar of this deen. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, it goes a little further. Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to solidify that faith that we have in Him, that belief that we have in Him, by giving from that which we love. Allah Azza wa Jal has made the third pillar is zakat. You give from that which Allah Azza wa Jal made part of your natural disposition to be attached to. You are attached to possessions, you are attached to wealth, you are attached to things of this world. Allah Azza wa Jal wants to test your faith by seeing how much you can give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why it's called sadaqah. It comes from sidq wa tasdeeq. Sidq. هل أنت صادق في إيمانك مع الله عز وجل? Are you truthful, sincere in your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Tasdeeq. Do you believe? Do you truly believe in what Allah says? Do you truly believe that Allah Azza wa Jal will replace you many times over? Subhanallah, that's why it's called sadaqah. And Allah Azza wa Jal made a siyam that has to do. So now the La ilaha illallah is a statement that has to do with your heart first and then your mouth, you speak it. Then the salah, it is both your heart and your movement. Then the zakat, it has to do with your financial ability, the things that you have, your possessions. Allah Azza wa Jal made a siyam has to do with a particular time. We have to respect the time, subhanallah. There's a time where you stop, whereas there's a time where you stop. There's a time where you take your last meal, and there's a time when you know that's it, you're fasting, you do imsak, and then there's a time where you have to break the fast. So these are things that Allah Azza wa Jal, wisdoms that He subhanahu wa ta'ala put in the different tools of worship that He subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us. But these tools, in essence, if you look at it, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala need our charity? Does Allah need our fasting? Does Allah need any of these things? He does not. Huwa ghani subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ghaniyun anil alamin. He's ghani. But we are the ones that need these things. And one of the many, and there are many wisdoms when it comes to subhanallah, what Allah Azza wa Jal ordained upon us when it comes to fasting. But I will talk about one aspect. And as you know, fasting, one of the things it does, it makes you reach what we call at-taqwa. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And at-taqwa is reached by many means and many ways. And one of them is for us, subhanAllah, the fact that in Ramadan we try very hard to stay away from sin, to stay away from transgression. So in another word, we try to purify ourselves, purify our souls from the habit of sin. One of the things I want to talk about today, that we need to work hard, and this is an opportunity, Ramadan is an opportunity for us to work hard to try to get rid of, is the phenomenon of addictions. Addictions, subhanAllah. Ramadan is the time to get rid of addictions. Now there are multiple addictions, there are so many. Some people are addicted to food. So in Ramadan we fast, we stay away from food. That helps you kick that addiction, subhanAllah. Because the more you eat, the less healthy you will be. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Sharru wi'a." The worst container that a son of Adam can fill is what? His stomach. Subhanallah. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum, we hear the things that they used to do. You think these are superheroes. They cannot be human beings. The strength that they had. They walked to Tabuk, 600 and some miles, fight a battle, and then carry their injured ones and they come back. Most of them are walking. Can anyone here do that? SubhanAllah. Why? Because the habits are different. The amount of food that we eat is a lot. These things, SubhanAllah. Addictions. Some people are addicted to TV. And the addiction, instead of it decreasing in Ramadan, it increases. Why? Because the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do? They prepare the whole year, they prepare things for you. Special things, special programs in Ramadan. Here you go. Here you go. And subhanAllah, especially our sisters. Oh, المسلسلات. والله اتجوزها ولا ما اتجوزهاش. يعني they're خلاص. مسلسلات, they all day, subhanAllah. They forget about the salah, they forget about reading the Quran, they forget about everything. An addiction for our kids, the video games, ya Allah. And they're like zombies sitting there, pressing those buttons, you know. Subhanallah. This is the time that we put those things away. You hide them in the closet and throw the key away. Make another key at the end of Ramadan. But in Ramadan, at least try to get them to pay attention to other things. Become human beings again. Read some of the Quran. Tell them the stories of the prophets and messengers. Tell them the stories of the Sahaba. This is a time to reconnect with them. This is a big addiction. Plus, subhanAllah, all it teaches them is violence. It makes them understand and think that human life has no value. And Islam values human life. Human life is valuable. They start seeing those shooting games and blood everywhere. It becomes normal to them. They become violent by nature. Now some people use the gathering in Ramadan for another addiction. Backbiting and slandering. And you know, they bought a new house. Oh, I thought for that price, I thought it'd be something special about it. I looked at it, it was not that great. Oh, that car, it broke down. And they start talking about what other people are doing, what other people are not doing. SubhanAllah, this is not the time. This is not the time to talk about these things. Focus on saying subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, read Quran. Focus on things that will benefit you on the day of reckoning. Idle talk, all these things, subhanallah. And these are things that are not as dangerous. Now, let's move to the addictions that are more dangerous, subhanallah. Now, some Muslims, unfortunately, they're Muslims, but they're addicted to alcohol. We've seen that before, right? You say, subhanallah, alcohol? Ya Allah, I'm Muslim? Yes, some Muslims are addicted to alcohol. And subhanAllah, this is the time, Ramadan, for you to come back to your Lord. It is Ummul Khaba'ith. It is one of the worst of the major sins. We have to, subhanAllah, use this time, the barakah of this time, to get rid of it. And subhanAllah, other things that even some of our youth fall into, the addiction of drugs and things like that. And one of them, subhanAllah, that is a silent killer. And then most people say, they don't think nothing of, it's not a big deal. And that is the cigarette. Yeah, the cigarette is a silent killer. People that smoke, they're poisoning themselves slowly. They're committing suicide slowly. And if they get sick and something happens to them because of the cigarette, they will be held accountable on the day of judgment for killing themselves. SubhanAllah. The cigarette is not a makruh. This is a myth. That most people, they get a fatwa, like a $10 fatwa here and there. It's not a makruh. It's haram. The cigarette is haram. لا تجوز في دين الله عز وجل. Haram. Because it is addictive. Does it have any benefits? Can we think of any benefits that the cigarette has besides feeding your addiction? There is no benefit to it, except that feeding your addiction. You need it, that's all. But subhanAllah, it destroys your body. It makes a dent in your money. Subhanallah, there is no benefit in it. And it's haram. It's haram. It is something that we have to use the month of Ramadan and make a lot of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Ramadan, that you get rid of the cigarette. And even subhanallah, the ones that even here, they go out and they smoke. What kind of example for our kids? The kids see you, well, Ammo so-and-so is doing it. Ammo so-and-so doing it. Then it becomes, not as bad in their eyes. We want to make sure that they understand it's something not bad, it's something horrible. SubhanAllah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help anyone and everyone that has an addiction to get rid of it in the month of Ramadan. I know we're running out of time, but I need to address a problem, a kind of an issue that we're having here, inshallah ta'ala. There's a sister out there that goes around talking to our sisters one by one, telling them that the Qibla in the masjid here is wrong. Okay? So, what I would say to this sister, ittaqillah, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Doesn't matter what kind of knowledge you think you have, and we respect knowledge, may Allah increase you in knowledge. But the first rule of knowledge is not to come and create fitna in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you go around and talking to a person one by one, that means you're trying to create a fitna. The people that started this masjid, they did their best. They did their best ijtihad to find out where the qibla is. Where the qibla is. Now subhanAllah, if you think otherwise, you have a couple choices. Either don't come pray here, go pray in a masjid where you think the qibla is correct. Or you come and pray with the jama'ah in the directions that they pray in. These are the two choices you have. But you come and start telling, even some sisters, I heard some sisters today, they pray to a different qibla, towards that door. This is a fitna. You're not doing good. You are doing evil. Hada batil. This is a fitna. And by the way, didn't the Prophet ﷺ said, he pointed to the east and pointed to the west, and he said between them there is a qibla. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that the people that put this masjid together they made a mistake. Which, as you know, it's not the case. Let's say they made a mistake and the qibla is wrong. Have you looked at what the scholars said about this subject? When the big scholars are asked, they say, if you miss the qibla by a few degrees here and there is no harm. You don't have to be precise 100% towards the Kaaba. If you miss it a little bit, because أَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَتَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Prophet ﷺ said, he pointed to the east, he pointed to the west and said, between these two, there's a qibla. So if you miss it by a little bit, there's no harm there. But subhanAllah, to come and split the jama'ah, that's the biggest harm. That is the biggest harm, people that come and create fitna and split the jama'ah. The qibla in this masjid is correct. So inshallah, for the sisters and everyone here, let us continue praying to the same direction that we had before. Inshallah ta'ala. And this person that started this, let her fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ittaqillah, fear Allah. This is the time for us to get together and be together. This is not the time for us to have fitna and to, subhanAllah, go separate directions and start praying to different qiblas and different areas. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive her and forgive all of us. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to unite this ummah. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from everyone. قولوا قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا.